All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone tuning in to another episode of the Breakthrough Bureau. Very excited, as I always am, anytime I'm able to provide some content for the listeners, for the viewers. But I'm always even more excited when I actually have a guest that brings their knowledge and expertise to the platform, because that takes me into another universe and another world that I may not be familiar with, or I may have just scratched the surface, or it may be something totally left field. Today is actually one of those scenarios where it is mostly left field and it is not something that I know very well, which again makes me very excited to have a conversation around the topic, because again, I learned something, my listeners learned something, and there's a lot of opportunity to really showcase and share a topic that might be beneficial for some other folks from someone that is an expert that's in the field and doing very well. So with that as the backdrop, I have a very special guest that I'd like to have her introduce herself, and we'll dive right into today's interview.
Thank you. I am Amber Dawn, owner of Amber Dawn Artistry. I am a professional makeup artist.
Fantastic. Well, Amber, great to have you. Thank you for, of course, thank you for joining the show. Really excited to have you and, to represent the Amber Dawn Artistry brand today. And thank you for sharing your time, your brand, and your knowledge today. But before we get into all of the places you've gone, I think it's important to understand and to start with literally where you started. So could you tell us a little bit more about how you got started, or your first few experiences in the makeup world?
I started 15 years ago, which was 2008. And I've always loved makeup. One of my best friends, Chrysalis, shout out to Chrysalis. She's a graduate of the Tennessee State University.
Let's go, TSU.
She writes plays and short films, and I was a part of her short film. And I had to play the character of a young girl who was being abused by her boyfriend. So I had to take my makeup and had to be creative, and I had to put makeup on where I had blood and a black eye, and I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. But I was successful with it, and then I got to do her makeup, and she loved it, and she was the one that planted the seed. You should be doing makeup. And I was like, I don't want to do makeup for other people. I can do myself, but but I only had products for myself, like brushes and my own foundations and my color. Like I knew how to do my makeup, but not other people's makeup. So I was just, that was crazy for her to say that, but I was scared. Mm-hmm. And then my godmother, she loves makeup, and she was also pushing me to do it. So that's really how I got my start, was 2008, doing the short film. And then Chrysalis would tell her friends, and Mama Flora would tell her friends. Mama Flora is my godmother. Uh-huh. So just word of mouth. So that's basically how I got started.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So going back a little bit, because it sounds like that was your first client that wasn't yourself. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious, when you were first picking up your makeup brushes for yourself, was that just kind of you being curious and creative? Was it not being happy with the way other people had done your makeup? Or was it just building, like you said, on being a young lady or a young teenager playing around with makeup brushes, doing your own thing, and then ultimately, as you got older, it's like it's something that let me back up a little bit. Did you start doing your own makeup because you were just interested in the cost savings? You thought you were already doing a great job compared to, professional makeup artists, or going to get your makeup done, or kind of what was that journey like with you starting on your own and doing your own makeup?
I just started doing makeup, just being creative with it. Like mm-hmm. I love myself, but I just would just start putting on like a little eyeliner, lipstick, mm-hmm. lip gloss, and that grew into, this is interesting. I want to see how far I can go with this on myself. And then my aunt would let me wear a little bit, it got like in high school, she would let me wear a little bit more, but elementary school and all that, I wasn't wearing any makeup. She wouldn't. I remember sneaking out the house trying to put it on. And she would show up at the school. You know, your mama and them, they be showing up at the school. Well, you make sure you acting right. At least mine did.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, that's basically what I would do. I was just playing in the makeup, you know, just trying to see what is this, you know. And then I just realized I've got a gift. You know, I didn't go to school for this. It was really from God. It was a gift from God. You know, nobody taught me how to do it. You know, I just started doing my own face and realized I was really good at it as time went on. Okay. You know.
Nice. So started with yourself. Sounds like pretty happy with the results. Sounds like other people were happy with the results, or at least your best friend was kind of seeing what you were doing and maybe brought you into her universe.
Especially Mama Flora.
Okay. So could you talk about that transition though? Because you started with yourself, you were happy with the results, but it seems like I'm trying to figure out how did you go from that to having an opportunity to do makeup for plays. Like, what was that like? Was she just seeing your makeup and saying, oh, you look, you know, what you have looks great, could you do this for my plays? Or kind of what was that experience like? How did that go?
She just liked, because we worked together, and we hung out a lot, and so she always seen me done up, and so she just realized that I really could do. I always looked nice. I always had myself put together, and so she invited me to be a part of that short film. And she saw me that I could do my, you know, the creative look with the abuse, with, you know, the black eye and everything. And she trusted me with her makeup. So I was the face card, if you will. So
I guess going from kind of making yourself or enhancing or accentuating the beauty on yourself to kind of more of the artistic, like you said, creating black eyes or creating scenes. Is that like a different skill set altogether? Or like that's something I don't understand. So could you talk a little bit more about that?
It's definitely different than beautifying yourself, putting on lipstick. So with me, I had to go and get like fake blood from the I think it's a theater store.
Okay.
And so, you know, that, and then I just took some eyeshadow and mixed up a few colors to make it look like I had a black eye. It wasn't hard. I just had to play around with it. That's all it is with makeup, is you sit and you play around with it. I wasn't like, I can't do this. I knew I could do it. I just had to figure it out. And so I just played around with the blood and the, you know, the red colors, and like, you know, it's like painting. You have a canvas and you have your colors and you paint. Yeah. So that's basically what it's like.
I'm not the most artistic, so painting.
I'm not either.
I don't know about that, because if you can do a full play and have people trust you to basically enhance their beauty, I'd say you're pretty good with art, personally. Well, good. That gives me a good idea of kind of how you got started. Kind of your first big project, I guess, is a good way to put that. And where did it go? Not the end, but kind of what was the next step after? Actually, before I say that, was that a paid? Was that a paid client, I guess, if you will?
It wasn't a paid client, but it paid off in the end, because it gave me a lot of exposure. It gave me experience. And then I was helping my friend. It was a win-win situation. You know, I was blessing her. She was blessing me, because that's one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to support my friends and they support me, and I'm going to celebrate her. And I was very proud of her for writing a short film, because I can't, you know, I don't think I could do that. It takes a lot of work, just like being a makeup artist. So it's a different skill set. So it wasn't paid, but that led to where I'm at now. You know,
paid it forward.
Everything's, you know, that's one of the investments, is you have to understand that some things you may have to do things for free. But, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. So wasn't paid, but you invested in an opportunity to get some exposure, to help a friend, someone that also believed in you, and everybody ultimately got a good return. Like you said, you got exposure. She got a great makeup artist, budding makeup artist, someone that's highly talented, and it sounds like the play and the ultimate product was a success. So wonderful. So
she's still in my life to this day.
Okay, that means it wasn't a bomb or anything.
No, she got married 2 years ago, and I actually had the honor of being her makeup artist for her wedding.
Wonderful.
So that was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
so.
Wonderful. Kind of came full circle in a lot of ways. Yeah, that's wonderful. So that brings me to the next question is the question I was going to ask is, where did you go from kind of getting that first round of exposure, doing, sounds like a combination of, kind of creative makeup, but also having experience with doing beautification style makeup. How did you go from your friend, your godmother, to actually building up your first handful of clientele?
I just stepped out on faith and made me some business cards, and I already had people talking about me to other people, and started posting on social media, and I just went from there. I just, used myself as the face card and networked with other people, and when I saw different events like the Dove Awards and different events in Nashville, I would just jump on it to, get that exposure. And that's where that went,
Okay. So you participated in all the events that seemed to be a good fit. You built up your social media presence, sounds like. Was there anything else? And of course, like you said, you were also the face card, the walking advertisement.
Yeah.
First question is, which of those three was the most impactful early on getting started? I have a guess, but I'm curious what the answer is.
Just getting out there and getting to those events, knowing what events to go to, I would say was the most impactful, because people saw me, and so, and my friends, they would invite me to different functions, whether it be like parties or events where you could set up a table, things at schools. Those were very impactful events, because I got to meet with the community and meet a lot of young girls, because I have a passion for young girls and teaching them like etiquette things and how to do makeup for their age and whatnot. So I would say that was the most impactful.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you got your first handful of clientele, kind of direct marketing or being the face of it, but also attending events, hosting booths, and doing a lot of other things to kind of drive your brand forward. I'm curious, because that makes me think of businesses and startup costs. If you had to ballpark a number, that makes me think it's high. But I'm curious, what's a reasonable figure for someone that's considering getting into the makeup world as a startup cost number for them to keep in mind?
Well, you got we got Amazon. Amazon is my shout out to Amazon. This is not a paid advertisement, but
shout out to 2-day shipping. But if Amazon wants to cut the check to the Breakthrough Bureau, we will.
We are Prime members.
Gladly accept.
So it wasn't really Prime. They wasn't really that famous back then.
No,
really.
Not in 2008.
I mean, now we have makeup brushes that are dupes, like replicas. So like MAC Cosmetics, shout out to MAC.
Yeah, shout out to MAC.
They have wonderful makeup brushes, and so those can be pricey. Like one brush could be $30, but you can go to Target and get something that's similar to that and spend half of that, or even like $8 or $9. And then other products. So, you got your lights and you got your website business, like $1,000.
Okay, $1,000. And
Yeah.
that includes your
2,000.
Okay, 2,000. So we'll go 2,000. That
Yeah.
includes your makeup essentials, which I have no clue what that is. Sounds like brushes, I think.
Brushes, sponges, fan. It's a little bit of everything. You would be
Okay.
amazed at what's in my kit. So
Gotcha. I have no doubt. So,
Yeah.
but that 2,000 also includes like if you register the business, lights, kind of all these other little small things. So you'd say 2,000 is a good number,
yeah, to start out.
approximately. Okay.
And you don't have to get everything all at once. You can get things as time goes on, but to start, you want to get enough to like the main essentials. So like your brushes and eyeshadows and foundations and things, lights, a chair, a makeup chair. So little
Okay.
things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we've got how you started. We've got your first clientele, first big show. We've got roughly what it costs to start the business, give or take. We've got kind of how you started your marketing campaign, which is a combination of you being direct on site with events and then word of mouth. Did I have all that correct?
Yes, you do. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's how you built your initial clientele. I am curious because I know a little bit about where you are today. You mentioned earlier that you're 15 years in the business.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses fail during that first handful of years, either because of costs, because of the clientele not building as fast as they wanted to build, or someone ultimately realizing like, this was a hustle. I don't necessarily want to be in this business, but you've been doing this thing for 15 years. So what keeps you in the world of makeup?
Like my passion.
Perhaps it may just be the money. I don't know, but I'm curious.
I wouldn't like. I started like I've been in makeup for 15 years, but there was a time because we all have those moments where we just procrastinate, and there was a moment where I just stopped doing makeup. And I was sitting on my gift and people were like, are you still doing makeup? Are you still doing makeup? And I wasn't really sure what to say. I just wasn't really into it at the time. But my godmother and friends was like, what are you doing? Like they had to put me in a chokehold, if you will. And I just, had a moment where I got to get back on it. Cause I never lost that desire. I guess got lazy. And then with COVID, nobody was doing anything,
Right.
But for a while now, I've been very consistent, and what keeps me going. The other day, my godmother came to get her makeup done. She had a full day of events, and when I got done with her makeup, she looked absolutely beautiful. And she asked me, she said, "Baby, take a picture of me and get your video out, and I want to say something." And on camera, she said, "You make me feel and look like $1 million. You are wonderful and I love you." And that was priceless, because for me to contribute to making someone feel that way, there's no money in the world worth that. And that's one of my passions, is to help women feel beautiful about themselves. She's already beautiful, but now she can walk out and she's, feeling like she can conquer the world, especially with her being a breast cancer survivor. And she's a walking testimony. She doesn't look like what she's been through. And so you just never know what people are going through. So that, and then knowing that, another passion is knowing that I can enhance a woman's inner beauty and articulate that and accentuate it. So that she still looks the same. She don't look like the it clown. But just enhancing, the natural beauty. And then I know my purpose. I know why I do what I do. So that's very important, is for you to know why you do what you do. It's not for the money. The money's cool, but it's not to be seen. It's not to be posted on social media. It's not for the likes or comments, because I don't need that validation, because I already know who I am. I know my worth. And so I just know my purpose. And lastly, my passion would be my Aunt Diana. She was mama. and she raised me since I was 2. Unfortunately, she passed in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And when she passed, my world crashed. But, I'm blessed to be here, and I'm great, mentally. But she was a powerful woman. She was strong. She was beautiful inside and out. And she made people in our community feel wonderful about themselves. And she instilled in me and raised me that in everything we do it with excellence. We don't have step over here. And so my business, my empire is dedicated to her. And so that's like my passion. And that's also my motto, is to, do everything with excellence. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it would be my Aunt Diana and everything I just mentioned. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff. So, you've got making women feel beautiful, accentuating said beauty. You've got the legacy that, your family has instilled in you, and that kind of is like the connecting thread of the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's wonderful stuff. Gonna flip the script a little bit though. Ask you a fun question.
Okay.
What don't you love about the makeup business?
Okay, let's see. That's a good question.
Annoying clients.
It would be annoying clients.
Okay.
You do have the bridezillas. I don't deal with bridezillas. I will not do business with a bridezilla. It would be clients people that expect a discount all the time. My time is my money, and I'm not going to allow anybody to put a price tag on me or to try to, get me to give them a discount just because they know me. It's like, no, this my kid, everything that I spent money on, everything is priceless. Like, invest in me. And so it would be people that are looking for a discount.
Gotcha. People don't want to pay your worth, basically.
Pay my worth. And it's even with family and friends. And you have to understand that some of your biggest clients are going to be your people that you don't even know.
Can you elaborate on that?
Because a lot of times your family and friend will be the ones to want a discount.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They'll be wanting the family discount. There's no family discount with Amber Dawn Artistry. I'm putting that on the map right now.
Hey, it is what it is.
Everybody that gets their makeup done by me, they invest, so, and I'm grateful for that. That's, a blessing, but yeah.
Okay. So you don't love bridezillas and people that don't recognize that this is a service that is
Yes.
professional service that's being provided.
It's like every other business.
Right. So, not the family and friends discount every single time. Got it. So kind of going back into building up into what you've built, the successful business you built today. What was your training process like? Was that all self-taught? Was that professional classes? Was that mentorship? What did that look like for you?
I had a lady that Dior. She's a mentor, and she took me under her wing. She let me travel with her to do makeup at different events. I remember we went to WKU, is that what it's West Kentucky
University? Yep.
We had to do makeup for someone there, and she took me with her, and I got to watch what it's like to travel with a makeup artist, getting the makeup chair out the trunk, carrying, what that's like.
Hands on.
Yes, and I got to help her do a wedding. So she did the majority of the work, and I got to do like the prepping for it. And so that was a blessing. So I've had, I was self-taught, like I said, it was a gift that I was born with, but I perfected that by going and getting up under other people, Dior. And then I invested in myself and took a professional class a few years ago from Haley Clark. She is a professional makeup artist in Nashville.
Okay.
An amazing celebrity makeup artist. She is awesome. And I took a class, and she had two models come in of two different races, excuse me, and did it from start to finish. And anytime we had a question, she would answer everything. And I had my notepad. I was taking notes, and she was telling us what products she used, and that was helpful because a lot of times people don't want to tell you their secrets.
Of course.
I mean, some things you can keep to yourself, but she wanted to make sure that we had everything we needed in our kit at home. And she actually gave us goodies, which was a nice little, little bonus of things that she uses for herself that we got to take home. So
nice.
Yeah. So I did have some hands-on training, and I was self-taught, but I also have invested in myself, and I continue to still invest in myself.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Mentorship is powerful.
Yes.
And being able to not only, self-teach and, see things on YouTube and kind of try to recreate on your own, that's powerful too. But having someone that's done the business, that's done the makeup, that's done the work, and that real time you can ask questions to.
Yeah.
And like you kind of alluded to, see some of the things that are typically not spoken about that may be in the business, like you described, grabbing the makeup chair out of the car, what it's like to deal with people from various races and backgrounds and all those things. So I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would add to that as far as ways you've continued to invest in yourself or learn the makeup world, business, or build your clientele?
Just staying consistent.
Yeah.
And I've actually networked with other makeup artists in other states. I've made a couple of connections with other celebrity makeup artists.
Oh, nice.
And it's just stepping out on faith. You never know what a DM, well, it wasn't a DM a few years ago, like back in early, but you never know where messages will lead. And it's actually landed a couple of little meet and greets and, little sessions. So, I'm continuing to invest in my business and, still take a few classes because the makeup world is always changing. Trends are always changing. And people go live all the time on social media. So I still sit up and watch, like men watch basketball games. I'll sit up and watch a girl do makeup live from start to finish. It's like fascinating, but it's a certain makeup artist I'll watch. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So I'm glad I asked that additional question because, there's things that I don't know, and I'm guessing most guys don't know, or people that aren't directly involved with that. Like just about, like for instance, you said makeup trends change. It's not something I've ever really paid attention to. And, and I love that you described kind of some of the ways you're continuing to stay in the loop. Of what's happening in the makeup world, what the trends are, what things you can continue to pick up from other professional artists that are in the makeup business. And I think that's fantastic. And then you also alluded to just consistency, right?
To get better, especially with my art, Yeah,
because I mean, with any great, God-given gift or heck, a career or anything, if you're not consistent, you just typically don't get enough reps, or you get rusty, and then you ultimately lose your grip on that talent and that opportunity. So I'm glad you touched on that. I think that's powerful. With that being said, got a few questions for you. Kind of talking about, you talked a little bit about your mentors, but I'm curious, who are your biggest influencers in the makeup world? You said a few names, but I'm curious if there's any others.
There is one in Atlanta, Georgia, Alexandra Butler. She is Missy Elliott's makeup artist, and she's amazing. And I just enjoy watching her, whenever she goes live. And, just Alexandra Butler, Oprah's makeup artist.
Okay.
Sam Fine.
Okay.
There are men makeup artists.
Okay.
And we'll leave it there. But they are very talented.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, Haley Clark. I mentioned her.
You did. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Haley Clark. Okay. Curious about some other topics related to, because you kind of alluded to some people that have moved into either being makeup artists for specific people, like Missy Elliott's makeup artist, and a few other names you dropped there. But could you talk a little bit about all the various, I guess, careers is the right word as it pertains to makeup? I mean, I'm sure makeup artist is like the big title, but what other areas do you touch? Because it sounds like movie sets, plays, obviously
That I
beautification.
touch?
Well, either that you've touched, that you aspire to touch, or that are just available out
That
there in
are
the world of
available?
makeup.
You know, when you watch, let's see, what is it, Star Trek, Star Wars? I mean, you have people that have the masks on and the different looks. So they're makeup artists, but it's more theatrical makeup. I'm not into that. Like, that's more, like, that's super talented right there. To take, like, you know, they using clay and I don't know, all those different types of material to make themselves have, and you know, the fangs and all of that. But so there's theatrical, and then, you know, there's glamour, and then I don't know, that's like the main two that pop up. But I keep seeing theatrical, and I keep seeing the mask. Like, if you think about Jim Carrey, he had that green face. So, and I don't know if you recently saw what Doja Cat, she had this makeup look recently, and she was covered in red rhinestones, and they literally put each one of them on individually. And I thought that's more theatrical, but she had like 3 or 4 different makeup artists doing it.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
all that falls under
Makeup
makeup
artistry.
world. Wow.
Yeah. So you just have to figure out which one is your niche, and mine is more beauty. You know, maybe down the road it'll change. I guess with the short film, I got my, you know, little hands in theatrical, if you will, because I had to put the blood on my face, and I had to create a black eye on myself. And so, but yeah, mine is beauty. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Understood. And that's important. You got to know what your lane is, and you know, if you can expand, but be good at what you're good at.
Yeah.
So makes a lot of sense. All right. Are there any specific, and you don't have to disclose this because like you said, not everybody wants to share their secrets. Are there any specific brands you recommend or don't recommend in the makeup world?
I recommend, shout out to MAC Cosmetics.
Yep.
These are my favorites. So MAC, Born This Way. I do enjoy Tarte Cosmetics, Makeup Forever. Those are a few brands that you will see in my kit.
Okay.
And J. LaRue. That's actually a black-owned business. The crayon case, that's a black-owned business. I definitely try to support my black-owned businesses. So brands that I would stay away from would be the Avons, the Mary Kays. Like, I just never really was a part of.
Gotcha.
I never was into all of that. But I don't. It depends on what look I'm looking for. You know, when you want the best look, then you're gonna have to invest in the product. Now, I can go to the drugstore and get some CoverGirl, L'Oreal. Those are pretty good brands as well.
Okay.
You know, some drugstore brands are cool. But just be careful, you know, with them having too much oil and things like that. But it just depends on what look you're looking for.
Got it. Okay. You brought up something interesting, and this is more me learning. Any health considerations that you would have for women or young girls or young ladies with regard to makeup, like too much makeup, makeup, healthcare, things that you would say, hey, these are things you should keep in mind either as an artist or as someone that's just using or getting makeup done to them?
Well, makeup artists definitely want to be sanitary and clean. So make sure your makeup artist is a clean person. But our skin is the largest organ on our body. So we definitely want to just make sure that we're taking care and have a beauty regimen, which means you're washing your face, you're using a good moisturizer. I don't recommend a certain, you know, skincare line, but you find one that's best for you. So if you have acne and whatnot, you know, you want to go ahead and see a dermatologist and take care of that, because with makeup, it's just putting paint on your face, but your canvas is really important. So Like with me, I don't look like this every day. I normally don't wear makeup. I really like to just wear moisturizer, and I may wear a tinted foundation. Tinted foundation, because I know you don't know, it's just light foundation, just a little coverage, but not much.
Okay.
And just making sure that I don't recommend using makeup from beauty supply stores. The hair stores, because those products are, have a lot of toxins in them. So just be mindful on where you get your products and how you're using them.
All right.
Yeah.
Got it. That's insightful, and I'm glad you took a second to share. So going to pivot into some fun questions to kind of round out this interview, and get ready. So question number 1. How much makeup is too much makeup?
Lord. Okay. Too much makeup is when you look like Celie from Color Purple, and then when you get done putting your makeup on, he's looking at Nia Long. Don't do that to the brother, because that's a whole lie. We don't do that.
Don't do it to yourself.
Don't do it to yourself. It's one thing where this is not who he's with. He's with, a fraud. But then, when you get done hugging him, you're going to have all your makeup on his shirt.
Yep.
Don't get his clothes dirty. But yeah, that's just, I don't like when women have on too much makeup and they don't look like themselves. They look like a clown, like really look like a clown.
Gotcha. So don't transform.
Yeah, don't transform. It's all about accentuation. Accentuate. That's all.
Question 2. Have you had male clients? And that's it. Have you had male clients?
Absolutely.
Interesting. Could you speak about that?
Men wear makeup when they're under bright lights. So we're under bright lights, and you don't want to look washed out. So we want your complexion to be all one tone, and so we may have to adjust that with some foundation or powder. And men may have scars, so we may have to cover those up. Everybody gets chapped lips, so we have lip balm. I always have lip balm on hand for when I do men's makeup. But for men, I usually have a little powder, but it includes foundation in it, and then I carry lip balm and little wipes and whatnot. I may have a hairbrush, little extra things. But yeah, men definitely wear makeup.
Huh. Interesting.
Not too much though.
So are you ever on social media and you can tell when there's like men with like makeup and like foundation and
definitely,
blush
especially
or whatever it's called? Yeah.
Not blush.
My bad.
No, just powder like powder to take the shine away, because you don't want to look sweaty on camera.
Breezy, yeah.
Yes, and so a lot of news anchors do that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
There's one in particular. Definitely won't name his name, but he wears a ton of like powder.
Interesting.
But I mean, he's still clean though.
Gotcha. Okay. Which celebrity always has great makeup?
Missy Elliott. Yeah.
Which celebrity always has terrible makeup?
Lil' Kim.
Damn.
Shout out. I love Lil' Kim and Missy, but
tough to disagree with that one.
Okay.
Favorite makeup item?
Concealer.
Why?
Because it brightens up under my eyes. It hides like dark circles, because a lot of times Black women, when we get out in the sun, we can get those little dark circles, especially when we don't get enough sleep. So that's mainly what I'll use when I'm not wearing makeup. I may put a little concealer on and a little tinted foundation, and that's it. So I like me some concealer.
Okay. So favorite product is concealer.
Yes.
What is the brand that you like the least when it comes to makeup?
I guess eyeliner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the brand / product, I guess.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
You're good. do you have a beauty budget, or do you just kind of spend freely?
I spend freely.
Yeah. Okay.
But I just know where to get my products from, at a reasonable price. And, one of the great things about being a makeup artist is you can get the perks and discounts. So I'm a pro artist. So I have a pro card and I can go get discounted things. And so that's a plus. So,
Okay. Couple other quick questions. Have you done any famous celebrities makeup, or have you had some really great networking opportunities with some powerful or popular people from doing makeup?
Yes, absolutely. I was a part of the Dove Awards. I got to meet Mary and network with them, and let's see, Shirley Caesar, a lot of Christian events. And I believe, there was one guy at the church. I totally forgot his name. My mind went blank. But yes, I've had some opportunities.
Wonderful. All right. So that's all I had in terms of questions. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners, our audience, about getting into the makeup business, the makeup world, things they should consider, tips, or anything else that I haven't covered that you think would be good for someone that's considering getting into the makeup world, or continuing in the makeup world, or enhancing their existing business?
Definitely just start. Build your kit. Don't worry about getting all of your products at the same time. Just get the basic essentials. Job shadow, get with a couple of makeup artists and ask them if you can, be with them for a day, and then take some classes, invest in yourself, have the right circle. I can't stress that enough. Have your tight tribe. I went to high school in Mittman County High School, home of the Cherokees, the tribe.
Okay.
So I have my tribe. Shout out to my tribe: Mama Flora, Tempest, Chrysalis, Roxanne, Catherine, the Mostellas. So the people in my circle, they've been with me since day one. And they believe in me, they pray for me, they encourage me. And so they're the ones that keep me going, and they celebrate me and they clap for me, and I do that in return. So it's very important to have the right people in your circle. And just always remember that nobody can tell you who you are, and that you are the artist and you're the art. I'm a masterpiece, baby.
Okay. Wow. That's some powerful way to wrap things up. And I guess to the last kind of ribbon on this is, where can people find you, support you, and engage with Amber Dawn Artistry?
Yeah, absolutely. They can find me on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, Amber Dawn Artistry. And there you will see my posts, my upcoming events, my calendar, and yeah.
Fantastic. Well, this was a great interview. I learned a lot that I didn't know. Shout out to the men wearing makeup, I think. But seriously, just great to understand this business a little bit better, understanding the basics, the foundation, how you got started, kind of the importance of having a good tribe, good mentorship, maybe some potential brands to, build up your kit, if you will.
Have my brand in your kit.
Hey, there you go.
That's something I'm going to be working on.
Well, let's talk about that for a little bit. What's the future plans?
I am definitely working on my own makeup line. It's a work in progress. That is a big investment, but I want people to have my makeup in their kit. I want to create makeup for young girls. When you go to Walmart or the Dollar General store or what have you, you'll see like little makeup kits for little girls, but they don't have our colors for, us Black people.
Yep.
So I want to create little kits for girls. I want to show them the proper way of how to put it on, and when they're, like 12 or 11, 13. But definitely working on my own makeup line, having my own brushes, products. So I'm working with some vendors. One of my good friends, Dominique, another member of my tribe,
Yep.
she's already doing it. She's got her own YouTube channel. She's got her own makeup line, and she's very helpful. And so, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, big plans in the future. We've got your social media platform so people can engage, follow you, and like I said, support any upcoming events that you have. And you got some big plans and some big goals coming up in the future. And here at the Breakthrough Bureau, we appreciate that, support that, and want to continue to move things forward for you. So appreciate you joining us.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
It's been a blessing.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad you joined us, Miss Amber Dunn. And you've built a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful business. You're full of love, you're full of passion, and that shows from what I've seen of your brand, your product, and the impact that you have on people. So thank you for bringing that energy here today.
Thank you. Thank you for your energy.
I do my best. I do my best. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in for another episode. And if you guys have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, always happy to hear those things so we can continue to drive value for you guys and opportunities for you to break through in either the way that you think, the way that you operate, and just really break through those flat lines and those moments where we're looking for opportunities to get better, to improve, or to just, again, continue to do well in some aspect of life. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. And this is the Breakthrough Bureau signing out. Peace.